Yep, now you know when information is used, utilized, underused, or overused. So definitely that's how we're going to go to the next segment. Now, Mazejo, this segment ni noma sana because we're meeting a young CEO. He's only 23 years of age. Sijui kama turn 23 to confirm here. But then his name is Alvin Amukasa Anjere, the co-founder and also the CEO of Sophie Bot. What am I talking about? It's an artificial intelligence app that can be able to answer questions on sex and sexual health.
I love it.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming on our show. I think what you're doing is really cool.
Okay,
First of all, before we jump into this, what were your thoughts on the whole, as a person who is, of course, in the IT industry, what were your thoughts when you heard about Cambridge Analytica and them using people's personal data without Facebook's knowledge?
So it goes first to Facebook, how much data they're harvesting from us, and then them being custodian of that data. That's crazy. I've even got to the level where I read the actual paper that inspired Christopher Willie, the whistleblower, and it's crazy stuff. So it comes on how much data we trust Facebook with, and then making sure they can take in charge of that. If that's not happening, it's up to us to take in charge of our own data. Delete Facebook doesn't help if they still have your data. So,
Of course. Now let's do the thing that brought us here. Sex and sexual health. I know you're not like an expert in that, but then how do you come about with this app?
Yes. So, can I start with the name? The beginning,
yes,
origin.
Please.
So, I started off me playing around with the technology behind Sophie from way back, and then 2016, UNFP came along asking us innovators to solve sexual health, and it was Bazinga. Problem set and the right technology to solve it.
Okay.
And in that marketing material, they had a character called Sophie, and the story is like her life gets messed up because she doesn't know enough about sexual health. We're here creating a persona that knows about sexual health. Let's call her Sophie. So UNFP are the ones who brought to this problem and showed us how big it is. And then you're like, let's solve this with this technology that's really specifically optimal for this problem. Yes.
And why is sexual health? Why did that specific topic get your attention and you decide to merge these two industries, the IT and health?
First was the problem was big. It's awkward and it's hard talking about sex. When you talk about sex, do we have the right information to talk about sex? Last is judgment and victimization coming off of sex workers. You know how awkward it is to go get treated for an STI, how awkward it is to go and actually buy a pack of condoms. So those are the three things. Awkwardness leading to even taboo. Second is, do we have the right information? And lastly is that stigma and that judgment. So we cooked all those things into this technology that we're building.
How does it work? Because most of the people are actually like, let's go into the thing. I want to know how it works because and also are there limits to the languages being used? Because I'm learning also peke yake mazejo mtamsi hataki kutaja hiyo word. Sema mazejo hizo labda lungu la kitu sema lungu la stuff inaelewa nini?
I know. So we started off with predefining questions and answers. So we had to choose a specific language. So it was fully in English. But then we made it easier. You don't have to type out a long form question. You can just type out the word, the key problem that you want to solve. It's an STI, it's HIV and AIDS. So that's the thing.
This is accessible both on Google, for Android users and iPhone?
Also, it's really interesting. So Sophie is a bot, not an app. So you can download her on the app and use her. That's only Android. But then you can use on other platforms: Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Twitter.
I just want all.
They will tell people.
It's same thing.
They will
Trust
tell people what I asked.
Sexual question.
So it's up to us to on the app itself. That's the beauty. It's anonymous, no login. On Facebook, it's up to us to protect your data and never. So the questions and answers, we take them, but then your personal information, your name, where you're from.
So you won't go all Cambridge Analytica on us?
No, never.
All right, he said it first right here on Youth Cafe.
Never.
So let's just jump straight into this. Give us an example of how this works.
So yes, I have something set up here. I hope you can see it. People who are planning to call, please don't call. So I'm showing you Sophie Bot on the app itself. So developer.
Also, your apps on your phone?
Yeah, so developers have like a lot of Sophies.
what is memory cards? What is space?
No, we'll solve that later. So it's basically opening Sophie. You'll notice there's no login screen. It's a blank slate. And then first thing, say hi, be cautious.
Yeah. Be nice.
Why?
I like
Why
that.
should I say hi?
It's a bot. Like we're giving her persona. We even refer to her.
I wish ladies would respond the same way. Like, hi there, I'm Sophie. What would you like to know? I'd like to know where you live. No. But now let's ask like a question, an actual question.
I do this all the time. I don't know if it will get you fired.
All right. It's good as long as it has to do with sexual
health.
Education. Oh, okay. All right. No, it's okay, because let me tell you something. The whole point of this is very educative. So you said hi, and she's there. Hi, I'm Sophie. What would you like to know? Does pulling out work? Pulling out before the man ejaculates, known as the withdrawal method, is not a foolproof method for birth control. Okay, yeah. Some ejaculated fluid that contains sperms may be released before the man actually climaxes. In addition, some men may not have the willpower or be able to withdraw in time. How amazing is that?
I wouldn't like anyone knowing that information. Can you imagine people knowing your fears?
No, what if you wanted to ask that question?
Okay, if I wanted to ask that question, definitely I'd ask, and maybe in a different language. You, of course, me pia pale shan kidogo wasi wangu nini. So, okay.
Okay.
What is
sexual assault?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. Let me think about that. She says, let me think. She has an amazing personality. I like that.
So when she says, let me think about it, what is Sophie doing?
What is actually happening? Sophie is telling us, you see the many apps that I have. Sophie is telling us, baby, there's a question you had not anticipated. Update this really fast.
Oh.
Yes, that's it.
Can I see her answer on what is sexual assault?
Yeah. So it's up to us to go back and... So I defined it somewhere. Yeah.
Define STI, okay.
And we can go easier. We can... Like, the same with the one-word support.
Okay.
Okay, and so she's given you an entire paragraph. I won't read the whole thing.
Yeah, it's okay.
But STIs are infections transmitted by having unprotected sex with an uninfected partner. STIs are some of the most common communicable diseases in Kenya, particularly among young people between the ages of 15 to 24 years. Yeah. Wow.
Is it only in Kenya?
It's interesting. So we started off in Kenya, fully market in Kenya, but weirdly enough, only 45% of our users are Kenyan.
Can I ask you a question? Yes? Have you pitched this to the Ministry of Education?
So, interesting. So we are agnostic towards bureaucracies.
Sure.
So we've started...
I actually feel the same.
So our strategy is to go to businesses in sexual health, pitch Sophie Bot to them, and the opportunity there is automating customer support for them. So scale that then. Once we are good, we can now, with that traction and clout, we can now approach with a stronger value proposition.
There's something you actually said, 45% are Kenyan. Yes. Who are these other people that are using our own?
So the biggest population after Kenya is weirdly the US. So it's around 16%. So I told you Sophie Bot is anonymous. How come we know this data? So your questions are separately somewhere, and then Google gives us insights, not specific particular user and their location. They give us broad insights on where the users are, on like demographics, on age and sex. So that's different from us collecting questions and answers. So US is the next big thing. Okay,
I know it's informative and stuff like that, but is there like some form of emotional attachment to it, because you know sex is something sensitive.
What do you mean by emotional attachment?
Unajua sini binadamu huwezi niandike hizo STI is the sexually is there like a softer language to it, because people like answers brief and stuff like that.
So as we move along, we'll improve and make a personality better. Now our core problem now is the tech, making sure you see the sexual assault question. We predict a system that can be able to learn from questions and answers, and then anticipate new questions even if we haven't manually anticipated.
How long has this been here?
We started off August 2016.
And we're knowing about it now.
I was here on the show before. Not this show specifically.
But you know, Youth Cafe audience are like the coolest.
The coolest, I know.
So now people will go to 65%. Yeah, just saying.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this with us. So, again, tell us that online. It's www?
It's sophiebot.ml, sophiebot.ml, but then search Sophie Bot everywhere. The Play Store, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Twitter. As long as you see this logo, it's us, and you can start the conversation.
You guys are amazing. Thank you.
And please make some makeup on Sophie Bot. She needs some lipstick, Sawa, Sophie, you're like kind of pretty.
Can I give you a weird fact? 75% of our users are male.
Oh, very interesting. Where are the women?
Whatever, man.
Where are the women? We also want to get our sexual education on.
It means that you guys know too much. The person of the week. Atuendi mbali sana, we start at home. This week, ilikuwa ni Poets International Day, and that's why we decided that we're going to bring our very own. Who's the champ? Why is she the champ? Find out. And as soon as we're done with that, tutaenda short break. But before the break, mnafahamu juu conversation yetu tunaongelea leo hapa hivi. Since ulikuwa umesema ati young people are stressed.
Yes, apparently a study was done that shows that young adults spend 6 hours of their day stressed. And the top 3 things that took that center stage was money, the future, as well as probably the money, future, and health, all right? But we're going to come back and we'll give you more statistics. Those ones that are appearing right now, we'll come back and give you more of that. But we want to lead with a short break with Person of the Week. Take a look.
This week on Person of the Week, we start with an honorable mention. We celebrate Koi Kare, a poet, spoken word artist, and an aspiring radio host, a young free spirit that believes in the power of words and art. Aside from that, Koi is the winner of the Slam Africa Women Poetry Competition 2016, and in 2017, she represented Kenya at the Women of the World Poetry Slam in Dallas, Texas, a poetic mission that saw her ranked 29 out of the selected 96. And for that, we give her an honorable mention.
And the only thing that gets the government working is when a daring journalist dares to talk about it in the media. So this time it will have a...
Now on to our main girl. Tonight, we create focus on Mwende Katwiwa, famously known as Frequency, a 26-year-old Kenyan immigrant that happens to be a highly sought-after performer.
This poem is inspired by a Facebook post where I asked black people, if you could write a letter to white people, what would you say?
Speaker, author, host, youth lecturer and facilitator, social justice teaching artist, and workshop leader. Though not so famous in Kenya, Frequency is known across the world for her 2017 TED Women Talk, where she was a speaker.
See, I knew I was young, but I figured it couldn't hurt to start planning for something so big, so early.
She also has been featured on news posts, blogs, and magazines such as Upworthy, OK Africa, TEDx, The New York Times, For Harriet, Teen Vogue, Huffington Post, Everyday Feminism, and other outlets. She is also known for her organization and activism in the Black Lives Matter. This week in particular, we celebrate her for being crowned the 2018 Women of the World Poetry Slam champion during the 10-year anniversary of the festival, where she places first out of 96 competing poets after 3 nights of competition in Dallas, Texas, with poets from across the world, giving her the highly coveted title of top-ranked woman identified spoken word artist. We celebrate Mwende Katwiwa, famously known as Frequency, for her gift and contribution to the arts, activism, and teaching.
Hey people, stop making everything worth my ink. That your whiteness is draining me of too much energy. Can't give you a taste of the tea for fear you'll colonize the whole kitchen. But today...
For Person of the Week, I am Brian Aseli.
But we will not rest because we know the future belongs to those who prepare for it. And you have been getting us ready